Are you interested in buying luxury goods in Europe? Do you daydream of strolling down the streets in Paris, shopping bags in hand? Have you planned your entire vacation around the best shopping in Europe? If so, you're in luck. I've written the ultimate guide to luxury shopping in Europe on my blog, Notes from Europe, and today I'm spilling those same secrets here on YouTube. From building your luxury wish list to snagging an appointment at your favorite boutique, this guide is full of my insider tips. Hi, I'm Angela. And 6 years ago, I moved from the US to Europe. But way before that, I used to work for luxury brands like Cartier and Louis Vuitton. Today, I'm sharing the secrets of how luxury boutiques operate so that you can have an unforgettable shopping experience during your next trip to Europe. Before we dive in, I want to make sure you know about my free email course, How to Plan a Trip to Europe. It walks you step by step through the entire process of planning your own European adventure so that you can skip the stress and get to the good part. It's totally free, and you can get it via the link in the description below. So, is it cheaper to buy luxury goods in Europe? Many luxury goods, like those from Louis Vuitton, Hermès, and Chanel, are made in Europe. Their European prices don't include things like transport or duty fees, costs that are routinely added to the same piece when it's sold in the US. This means that luxury goods from European design houses are often less when bought in Europe versus buying them in the US. The price differential on luxury handbags, watches, and jewelry can be substantial, even before taking into account things like currency exchange rates. Even though we're gonna talk about luxury goods in this video, these pricing differentials, they also sometimes extend to more designer brands like Celine or Saint Laurent. In addition to the benefits of local pricing and currency exchange rates, American travelers are also eligible for VAT refunds as they are non-resident visitors to the European Union. While the minimum purchase amount varies from country to country, a safe rule of thumb is that any purchase over 500 euros is usually going to be eligible for some sort of VAT refund. Wait, what about luxury outlets? Europe has plenty of outlet malls, just like the United States. But similar to those United States outlets, many of these are often stocked with products that are specially made for the outlet market. This means that the products have been manufactured to a lower quality standard so that they can be sold for a lower price. One exception in the luxury space is the Gucci outlet in Florence. It has a solid reputation and is purportedly very close to the ateliers where Gucci's goods are made. So how should you prepare for luxury shopping in Europe? It all starts with research. I always advise friends to build a luxury wish list before they actually go into a boutique and begin shopping. It's so helpful to have a list of pieces that have caught your attention, that you are seriously considering purchasing, just something that you can refer back to should your tastes or willingness to splurge change in the future. Remember, luxury goods are handmade pieces of art. You really want to put some thought into which pieces you're going to be adding to your collection. In my own experience, it's kind of common for pieces to fall off my luxury wish list the longer that I go without them, and that's totally okay. A luxury wish list allows you to avoid making an impulse buy that you might regret later. Personally, I don't play like the luxury resale game, so if I'm buying something, it's gonna be in my collection long term. It's a good idea to have maybe 2 or 3 very serious options because stock outages are a very real thing in the luxury goods space, but I always advise to keep this list manageable. You don't really want a list of like 10 pieces unless you're going to be dedicating an entire day to shopping. I think a sweet spot is kind of between 3 and 7 pieces that you're seriously considering. Okay, let's talk about luxury arbitrage, or how to research price differences. Luxury arbitrage, it's like this practice of buying luxury goods in one market where they're more affordable and then taking them to a market where they're more expensive and reselling them in order to make a profit on that price differential. Now, you're probably not going to be playing that luxury arbitrage game, but it is helpful to think like an arbitrager, especially when comparing differences between countries. The easiest way to research price differences is to go to the brand's website, see what something is priced at in USD, and then change the location on their website to see what it's priced at in Europe. Just keep in mind, if you're going to London, you're gonna wanna check the British pound price, not the euro price. The options for changing a website's location differ by each brand. I know that on Louis Vuitton's website, for example, it is in the footer of the website, so you have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. I think it's like the lower left-hand corner, and then you will select where where you're traveling to. They do have a general Europe-wide website that I find to be okay, but I think it's better to just say like, I'm going to France, I'm going to Germany. On the Hermès website, for example, the option to change the location is actually located in the upper right-hand corner of the website. So play around a little bit, but you should be able to find those price differences rather easily. It's important to remember that the prices advertised in the EU already include VAT or value-added tax. This is kind of like the way that Europe does sales tax, and it's most often included in pricing. That's a big difference from the United States, where the price that you see is kind of the sticker price, and then sales tax is added on top of that. Here's a quick example. The Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis East-West version retails for $2,910 US. If you were to buy this in New York City, you'd have to add an extra 8% in sales tax. That would push the final price tag of this bag somewhere beyond $3,000. In Europe, however, that bag retails for 2,400 euros with no further taxes. Keep in mind that if you're shopping for something like an Hermès bag, something with very exclusive pricing, it's not even going to be on the brand's website. Instead, you have to Google for price lists. These are often put together by fanatics of the brand, right? People that are constantly tracking the pricing. They will receive it privately from their sales associate and then publish it online. I think one of the most important things to understand before you decide to go luxury shopping in Europe is that there are multiple boutique types, and the one that you pick for your shopping appointment can drastically impact the experience that you have, how good you feel about it, even if everything else is kind of held the same, even if your sales associate is lovely, even if you walk out of the boutique with the piece that you want. There's a different ambiance and vibe to all 4 of these different boutique types, so I want to make sure you're aware of the differences. Generally, at least the way I see it, there are 4 different luxury boutique types: flagship boutiques, secondary boutiques, seasonal boutiques, and shop-in-shop boutiques. First, the most spectacular and awe-inspiring boutique type is the flagship. These anchor luxury houses in huge capitals like Paris, Milan, and London. They're often multi-story boutiques, merchandised with multiple collections and staffed by very large teams of sales associates. Flagship boutiques often boast fanciful displays or even in-store exhibits. These are like playgrounds for fashion lovers. In addition to their wide array of collections, flagship boutiques often also offer these like supplemental services, things like on-site service, repairs, hot stamping of leather goods, jewelry cleaning. Large cities often have secondary boutiques too. Secondary boutiques are often spread throughout the city. They're placed in up-and-coming design districts or just secondary shopping areas. An example of this in New York is all of your flagship boutiques are going to be on Fifth Avenue, but Madison Avenue is a just as important secondary shopping area. They offer a more limited range of collections and limited supplemental services. Most secondary boutiques will carry core collections like handbags and leather goods, but not shoes or menswear. They also tend to have a more limited inventory due to their smaller size. If you're visiting a smaller city that only has a single boutique of a particular brand, it's safe to assume that it will kind of feel more like a secondary boutique than a flagship, even though it's technically the sole location in that city. That's not to say that these are not still fantastic boutiques. Places like Frankfurt, Vienna, and Amsterdam are not going to have huge flagships, but their secondary boutiques are still really a fantastic assortment. Don't worry about not finding the piece that you're on the hunt for. There is a little trick to help ensure that you find the exact piece that you're lusting after. The third type of luxury boutique that's very common throughout Europe is the seasonal boutique. Seasonal boutiques are like short-term pop-ups. They're only open during the high season in their respective location, usually resort towns, whether ski resorts or beach resorts. Typically, their merchandise really focuses on the collection that is relevant to that resort location where they're found. For example, in the summer months, a lot of brands will open seasonal boutiques in the French Riviera or the Greek islands. They have a smaller footprint and they really focus on the summer or cruise collections of that brand. In winter months, you'll see the same dynamic. Brands will open in exclusive ski destinations and the merchandising will focus on those winter or ski sport collections. I like to think of seasonal boutiques as like these fun little pop-ups. They enable the kind of big city shopping that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get in small, off the beaten path resort towns. Okay, the final type of boutique is what I call shop-in-shop boutiques. There's probably a more elegant way to say this, but this is just what I call them. Shop-in-shop boutiques are brand-owned boutiques housed housed within a larger luxury department store, and they're often found on the ground floor. For example, when you go to a very large luxury department store like Le Bon Marché in Paris or Cotaway in Berlin, the ground floor will house these individual boutiques for Gucci, Hermès, Cartier. Now, these do have a smaller footprint, and that can sometimes mean a more limited inventory. However, shop-in-shop boutiques are fantastic if you want to get a lot of shopping done in a short amount of time. So if you're looking for multiple pieces from different brands and you want to be as efficient as possible, then this is a really great boutique type to seek out. Understanding these boutique types and really thinking about the one that is best for you is a really important step in ensuring that you have a fantastic shopping experience. If you have your heart set on getting something hot stamped, then you want to do research on the brand's website and make sure that that particular boutique offers that supplemental service. It's also important to think about the environment in which you feel most comfortable. It's easy to say that everyone should be shopping at a flagship because they have the largest selection of merchandise, sure. But if you're the kind of person that doesn't like a chaotic kind of bustling environment, then you're not going to like a flagship boutique. If that's you, a smaller secondary boutique where you're able to kind of chill out and have a conversation with your sales associate without this like whirring of activity around you, that's going to be better for you. On the other hand, if you are focused on getting a lot of different pieces and you don't have a ton of time in your itinerary to dedicate to shopping, then hitting up a department store with shop-in-shop boutiques on the ground floor is going to be the best option for you. Okay, I'd love to know, what is your dream luxury purchase in Europe? Or if you've already done some shopping abroad, what is your best find? Drop it in the comments below. I love to hear these stories. And like this video if you're enjoying it. So where's the best luxury shopping in Europe? In Paris, most people think of the Champs-Élysées, but it's really more of a mix. There are some flagships there, but there are also a ton of high street stores like Zara and H&M. If you want a quieter, more refined experience, head to Avenue Montaigne or Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honoré. Here you'll find brands like Dior, Hermès, and Prada. And for fine jewelry and watches, in Paris, nothing beats Place Vendôme. This is where you'll find Patek Philippe, Van Cleef, and Cartier. Over in London, Bond Street is the crown jewel, with boutiques like Chanel and Louis Vuitton, plus jewelers like Bulgari and watchmakers like Rolex. Just around the corner, Savile Row is world famous for bespoke tailoring. And of course, department stores like Harrods and Liberty London are destinations in their own right. And in Milan, luxury shopping is almost an art form. The Quadrilatero della Moda brings together Prada, Gucci, and Versace, and more, all in one district. And don't miss the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, right by the Duomo. It's a historic shopping arcade where the setting is as iconic as the boutiques. And if you're visiting smaller European capitals, don't worry, most cities have their own luxury districts, often centered around one or two major streets where most of the luxury brands are located. I've put together a full list of the best shopping streets in Europe so you can find the right spot no matter where your trip is taking you. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. We've covered a lot, but there is still so much to get into. If you want the complete insider guide, including how to book an appointment, tips for VIPs, and what really happens during a selling ceremony, I've put together a free download just for you. You'll find it in the link below. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss more of my European travel tips. And if you want to hang out a little bit longer, here's a video I recommend you watch next. See you in the next one.